Habari zenu, how are you? Poleni sana, tumekuwa bila darasa kwa muda. How are you? How are you? How are you? Join me here. Hello. Hi. Who is here with us? It's past 8 p.m. Habari zenu? I hope you're doing well. Hello. Trusting God that you are well. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, Branham Koech. I'm not vying for any seat. I'm comfortable supporting my community. Doing well. Bless you. Oh, I am okay. Hello, Bexton Mutugi. Tag a friend, tell a friend we are here. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here. Our class is on today. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we have our class. I'm sorry we've not had a class since Friday. Over the weekend, it's okay, you give me time to rest, but when I can come over, it's okay. But yesterday I was not able to join. Yesterday it was World Education Day, so I went to visit some beautiful girls in Kiserian, Greenland School. Greenland School takes care of teenage girls and it gives them a second chance in life. So this beautiful school is run by Purity Gikunda, who is doing an amazing job, very amazing. You just need to hear about Purity and her beautiful work. You need to visit Greenland School and see what she's doing. She already has 67 girls and she has over 300 in waiting. She has given hope to girls who went through rape, who went through other forms of abuse. Some became pregnant. Others have been through other forms of gender-based violence. Oh my God. I had a very, very good day yesterday. I didn't feel like leaving that place. Anyway, we are here. And last time, we discussed about impact of verbal abuse. And when we discussed about impact of verbal abuse, we learned about the short-term and the long-term consequences. We learned about short-term and long-term consequences when it comes to verbal abuse. So we learned about anxiety, we learned about change in moods, we learned about chronic stress, we learned about decreased self-esteem, we learned about depression, we learned about feelings of shame, guilt, and hopelessness. We learned about post-traumatic stress disorder. We also learned about social withdrawal and isolation. And finally, we learned about substance use. And I said, impacts of verbal abuse have got short-term and long-term consequences. But we said that we were going now to narrow down. We look at anxiety and we see what is anxiety. So I want us to discuss and I want us to define one after the other. We are looking at impact of verbal abuse, and we are going to look at this impact starting from number one. We mentioned last time, but we did not go deeper. So today we are looking at these short-term or rather even long-term consequences. So everything under the sun has got a consequence. So verbal abuse has of the impact of verbal abuse has either long-term or short-term consequences. And this is what we are going to look at. We said number one is anxiety. And what is anxiety? Anxiety is a feeling of fear, dread, or uneasiness. So you feel a lot of fear, you feel you're so uneasy. And what does it cause to you? You know, sometimes you can be very anxious and you think that you are sick. So anxiety is going to cause you to sweat. You're going to feel restless. You're going to tense. Una tense kila wakati unajiuliza. And then you're going to have a rapid heartbeat. When you're so anxious, when you're so anxious, you sweat, you feel so restless, you feel una tense, saa yote you're tensing ile, uko na kauoga fulani. And then you have a rapid heartbeat. It can be normal reaction to stress. So I told you, every time you're going through a certain form of abuse, most of the time it is going to be either accompanied by emotional impact or either mental impact. So hii inaonyesha maybe uko na stress. For example, you might feel anxious when faced with a difficult problem at work, before taking a test, or before making an important decision. Sometimes hata saa ingine, you know, there are places, workplaces that you have HIV policy, you need to go get tested, you need to do what, you need, if you test positive, you need to be, maybe share with your HR or someone else so that they can take care of you, they can consider you, maybe when you're going to collect your ARV drugs, etc. So you might feel anxious. Maybe when you're told to go for a HIV test, you're going to feel so anxious and you feel like, it's so difficult. I cannot do this at this time. So this is what we call anxiety. That fear, that uneasiness, that anxiety, the anxiety itself, it's fear or uneasiness. So it is so important to ensure that you look for somebody to talk to. I keep on telling people it is okay to talk about yourself. It is okay to tell somebody about yourself and what you're feeling. And it is also okay to be yourself and decide what you want to do, as long as it's not the worst decision. Sometimes you can just decide, let me sit down because I'm too overwhelmed, I'm in so much fear, and you say, let me just be myself and keep quiet. And then once you recollect yourself, you get outside there and talk and say, hey, this is what has been affecting me. Hey, this has been my problem, okay? Yeah. Number 2 is change in mood. Change in mood is a mental health problem that primarily affects a person's emotional state. Remember I said, one form of violence or one form of abuse will always take you or lead you to another one. So change in mood. Change in mood is a short-term consequence of verbal abuse. But sometimes it might become long-term when it affects you emotionally. So change in mood is a mental health problem. So it is a mental health problem. And when it is a mental health problem, then it affects a person's emotional state. Number 2, it is a disorder in which a person experiences long periods of extreme happiness, extreme sadness, or both. So change in mood, sometimes unajikuta uko na furaha kabisa until you say, hey, leo sijui nimeguzwa wapi, hey, leo si niko na furaha. Then sometimes all of a sudden unajikuta tu, yani you have just decided to shut up, to keep quiet, and it has already affected your emotional and mental health. What do you need to do? You need to seek for help. Let me tell you, it is okay to seek for help. It is okay when you feel that you're not okay, you get help. Nobody is perfect. So, is it normal for someone's mood to change depending on the situation? Yes, it is normal because we are human beings. But sometimes it's not normal. You find there are people when you just something has happened, they mood swing. Whatever blah 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 has happened, mood swing. Let me tell you, it is not normal for your moods to keep on changing change drastically. As much as it is normal, because you're a human being, your moods to change when you're happy, you remain happy. It's already written all over your face. It is not normal when you're sad, it should be written on your face, but it should not be exaggerated. Okay? So, for you to be diagnosed with mood disorder, if you have got mood disorder, for you to be diagnosed, symptoms must be present for several weeks or longer. Remember, we are talking about impact of verbal abuse, and we are elaborating the anxiety, mood, change in mood, or rather we call them mood swings, chronic stress, decreased self-esteem, etc., etc. We are going to look at one after the other. Changes in mood or change in mood can cause your changes in your behavior and can affect your ability to deal with routine activities such as work or school. Routine activities will be affected. The moment your moods change, it changes your behavior. When your behavior is changed, it affects your ability to deal with routine activities. So how does it work? It is mood swing or changes in mood. Then how does it work? It starts mood swing. Then from mood swing, it comes to change of behavior. Then when it is change of behavior, what does it do? It affects your routine, your work routine, or your routine of doing activities, such as work. Sometimes you don't feel like working, or you just go to work, and because you have mood swings, ukifika kazi, you don't want to see even your boss. Let me tell you, it is okay not to be okay, but it is okay to speak. Because your boss might not understand you, but it is okay to speak about it. Are we okay? Are we together? So chronic stress is number 3. Chronic stress is a consistent sense of feeling pressured and overwhelmed after a long period of time. So you feel so overwhelmed, but it is out of pressure. So you go through you go through a long-term or a short-term consequence of verbal abuse. Kama mtu huwa anakutukana kila wakati, and then when you sit down, what comes into your mind? What rings into your mind? What rings into your mind is you feel so pressurized. So what does this pressure amount to? This pressure amounts to being overwhelmed. Then once you're overwhelmed, after a certain long time, you're going even to start feel pains, una feel insomnia, you don't have sleep, you feel weak, you don't want to socialize, there is less socialization, unfocused thinking, that you can think about something and act immediately, you don't even consult. Then treatment includes lifestyle changes. You know, if you're stressed, you're supposed to change your lifestyle. Medication, there is medication if you're stressed, the way we have medication for depression. So it is okay to have a lifestyle change, it's okay to have medication, it's okay to have realistic goals. Sometimes we are stressed because we don't set realistic goals. Can you set goals that are so realistic? Okay? Yeah. So treatment also involves psychiatry and psychology. So you need to see either a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Tuko pamoja? Hi, my sister Mary Lincoln. You're beautiful too, dear. So number 3, we are talking about impacts of verbal abuse. And now we are looking at impact number 4, not number 3. We have looked at anxiety. We have looked at change in moods. We have looked at chronic stress. And I've said chronic stress has treatment. You either see a psychiatrist or you see a psychologist. Number 4, we have decreased self-esteem. Decreased self-esteem is one of the impacts of verbal abuse. And as I said last time, we are going to narrow down on each and every one. We are now on number 4, decreased self-esteem. Low self-esteem is when someone lacks confidence about who they are and what they can do. And I want to tell you something about self-esteem. Your self-esteem can be affected by people who surround you. People who know about you, people who are so close to you. They can either make your self-esteem to go high or your self-esteem to be low. Sawa sawa? So, self-esteem is going to be decreased. Your self-esteem is going to be decreased or either increased depending on how somebody talks to you. Do you know the way somebody talks to you, it speaks so much. It speaks volumes. So your self-esteem is going to be decreased if you live with a partner whose work is always to insult you, to throw words to you, to throw their tantrums on you. Then your self-esteem is going to go low. I hope we are together. Then your self-esteem can be so raised. Like for those kids who have talents. I don't know whether you are that kind of a parent who abuses their children, who insults them, who tells them all the kinds of words. That parent whose work is to tell them, kazi yako ni kupiga kelele hapa. And maybe this child is talented, not in making noise, but in whatever they are doing. Maybe they are singing, and then you keep telling them, oh, unapiga kelele. Let me tell you, you can either kill your daughter's or your son's talent by just making their self-esteem to go low. So you need to be very careful. So how do these people whose self-esteem is low feel? Number 1, they feel so incompetent. Yani kila kitu wanakuambia yeye hawezi fanya. When you tell them to do something, what will they tell you? They'll tell you they will do. But inside them, they know they will not do it. You tell them, go talk to so and tell them that this is what is going to be done. This is what's going to happen. This is the flow of events. Finally, they'll tell you they told that person. But when the real action is taking place is when you get to know these people, because their self-esteem is so low, they did not do exactly what was to happen. My observation has led me to this. Children who have grown up being taken care by people who are not their parents, maybe they are their guardians, their self-esteem is so low. Because it depends with the treatment these children were given. It depends with the value these children were given. If these children were the ones who were supposed to wait for the biological children of this home to eat, and then their work is to eat whatever has remained in the pots and then go and wash dishes, then these kids, their self-esteem will be so low, such that even the day maybe you go to visit someone and you want to serve food, good food for these kids, they feel that they are not part and parcel of that food. They feel that they are not supposed to be involved. They feel they should not be sitting where other people are sitting. It is decreased self-esteem. The other one is feeling inadequate. This person feels so inadequate, I cannot do this. You know, there is one thing I believe in. I believe even when I don't have money, I serve a mighty God who provides each and everything. I believe I serve a mighty God who Psalms 24 verse 1 says, our God owns silver and gold, and 1,000 cattle on the hill belongs to him. I always feel that I have a portion because God is my father. So this person feels so inadequate. Those people who have decreased self-esteem, they feel so inadequate. You tell them that we are contributing 10,000 shillings, and maybe they feel, oh, my salary is this much. Oh, this is what I can only afford. Let me tell you, there is one thing I do. If people are contributing 10,000 shillings and I can only afford 1,000 shillings, I'll contribute what I can afford and walk tall, because that is what I can afford. Because I already believe in myself. I believe in my self-esteem. I believe that I'm courageous. I believe I'm strong. You know, there are things that you will not get assurance from somebody. You just need to give yourself assurance. So I want also us to think about people who struggle with low self-esteem. What do they do always? People who struggle with low self-esteem, number one of their characteristic, they are very afraid. And the low self-esteem could have been brought by a spouse or a friend or a workmate who verbally insults you. And low self-esteem is an impact of verbal abuse. So this person, they are full of fear. Even when they want to mention something, and I'm going to use money as an example here. People who have low self-esteem, they will not even want to be involved in meetings, in circles where money is being mentioned, because they believe that they are so low. They believe they cannot be part of that. They believe they cannot be equal to that task. So these people are consistently afraid about making decisions, making mistakes, or letting other people down, or even giving pledges. So it is important, if your self-esteem is low, you need to get help. And if it is somebody who contributed to that, when you go to see a counselor, you need to tell them the truth, because you need help. I said everything has got a solution. Be it stress, be it depression, be it low self-esteem, there is a solution. So I want us to look deeper into causes of low self-esteem. Number one, I had given that example. Unhappy childhood, where parents or other significant people such as teachers were extremely critical, but they were not available. Or they were extremely critical and they were available, but they kept on telling you you are nothing. You can never achieve anything in this life. I've seen so many jokes on social media about sijui mwalimu aliniambia sitafika mbali, angalia saa hizi nilitoka Kisumu niko Nairobi, mwalimu aliniambia siwezi pita Kericho, saa hii naishi Nakuru. All those are good jokes. But let me tell you, at some point they lowered your self-esteem. Also, unhappy childhood, where maybe you lost your parents, and people who are to take care of you, instead of taking care of you, they misused you, they abused you, they put you into child labor. So your self-esteem went so down. Another cause for self-esteem is poor academic performance in school, resulting in lack of confidence. So you find those kids who perform so poorly in school, they are not confident about themselves. The teacher is giving an example of people who perform poorly with them. So it is another cause of decreased self-esteem. You're supposed to tell your child, hata kama huyo mtoto hapatangi marks mzuri, let me tell you, if your children believe in you and the teacher, you as a mother, you as a guardian, or as a father, and the teacher. So it is so important to ensure that your child gets the best, hears the best from you, because every parent is next to God to every child. So low self-esteem in your child, she can get confident, or he can get confident from you as a parent. Number 3 is ongoing stressful life event, such as relationship breakdown or financial trouble. Let me tell you, there is nothing that affects someone, especially when a relationship goes down or it breaks. It makes someone to lose their self-esteem because of so many things, and these things we have looked into in the previous classes. You find somebody wondering about what the society is going to say, and this is something I'm going to repeat because we were doing live on my profile, and now we are doing on my page. Let me tell you, if you are going through difficult time in relationship, let me tell you, it is not okay to stay where you're not accepted. It is not okay for you to stay where you are tolerated. You'd rather stay where you're loved and not where you're tolerated. When a relationship is in the verge of breaking, when a relationship is too poor, when a relationship is bad, let me tell you, your self-esteem will be so low. And you're going to be looking at your neighbors, and what you just want to hear is, hey, majirani wanajua nini? Walisikia nini? Let me tell you, don't mind about people. Mind about you. I keep on telling people, you come first. Talk to yourself and tell yourself, Diana, you come first. In this life, Diana, you came first. In this life, Diana, you will always be first. In this life, Diana, you are, and you are a winner. You tell yourself good things about yourself. The other thing that will bring low self-esteem is maybe when you're financially stable, this time maybe of the year you are driving, then it comes to this time of the year you're now back to public transport, or maybe you used to have a house, you're unable to pay for it, if you're mortgaged and you're not able to finance your mortgage, and maybe the bank comes and sells the house, or rather auctions the house, and now you're back to renting. Let me tell you, it is another thing that will lower your self-esteem. And this is why I keep on telling people, make informed decisions. Don't do something because someone else is doing that. I don't know whether you're getting that. Don't do something because someone is doing. And this is something I really hate in my life. I don't do things because people are doing. I keep on telling people, you don't know where Diana gets her money, you don't know where Diana goes to get this and this, and then you want to copy from Diana. And vice versa. I will not copy from you just because I saw you with something. Could be you have 3-4 sources of income and maybe I have one. Or maybe I'm struggling to get one. So it is okay to learn how to live according to where life has dropped you. I like reading about Mephibosheth in the Bible. But one thing I came to realize from the story of Mephibosheth is that he was dropped, but he was not destroyed. For those of you who are Christians, just get to read about Mephibosheth, and you're going to know that Mephibosheth was dropped, but was not destroyed. Yes, he was dropped, he became crippled, but he was not destroyed. Remember when when David wanted to remember somebody and show them love and favor for Jonathan's sake, it was Mephibosheth. I'm not preaching anyway. So the other thing, or the other cause of low self-esteem, is poor treatment from a partner, parent, or career. For example, being in an abusive relationship. I have spoken about this, and it is what we are talking about. An abusive relationship will give you low self-esteem. Abusive mother-in-laws and father-in-laws. You know, in Kikuyu, we keep on saying the only difference between me and mother-in-law is that the mother-in-law came first. I came second. So if the mother-in-law gets to a point of telling you, as a daughter-in-law, you should leave, we always say we should then leave according to how people came. So the ones who came first should leave first. And then I remain and I make a decision and follow. Anyway, I mean abusive parents. If you're in a relationship and you have got in-laws who don't appreciate you, who don't accept you, who even think that you're not good for their son, let me tell you, poor treatment from in-laws, it is going to make you have low self-esteem. And this is why I keep on telling men, if you're ready to marry, kindly don't leave your wife with your mother unless situation forces. But if you're capable, kindly go with your wife where you're going to work, or just make arrangements. Yeah, you can leave her a few days, but if you need peace of mind and peace of soul, and if you want your mother and your sisters and your brothers to maintain a very good relationship with your wife, separate them. Go live with your wife. She is your wife. She's not a community wife. Okay. Causes of low esteem. Now, the second last one. Ongoing medical problems such as chronic pain, serious illness, or physically disability. Let me tell you, there are situations that will make you feel very low, especially if you have had chronic illness. And this chronic illness, majority of them, and I keep giving this example because I've walked a journey with a cancer survivor. Anybody who is fighting a certain disease, anybody who is going through a certain illness, they always feel neglected. They always feel that they have been left. They always feel like in Kikuyu we say unawadhirikia, like you don't feel them, like unawachezea. So this one can make people feel so low self-esteem. And I want to give you an example of a cancer patient who has gone through mastectomy. Mastectomy is the removal of the breast that it has been affected by the cancer cells. You can imagine that person who is living without one breast or both of them. how do you think they feel? They feel like they are less of a woman. They feel so many things. Or in the other cases where you have a man, I've seen a man in those cancer wards, cancer rooms, and where chemotherapy are being given. I'm forgetting the name. You see this man who is suffering from what is this type of cancer that affects men? Um, I'm forgetting this type of cancer that affects men, but I'm going to give you to tell you later. Or somebody who remembers types of cancers that affects men, especially the one that affects men on their private parts. You see, these men, they even change the style of walking. So they feel low self-esteem. They cannot even wear trousers. They cannot wear underwear. Sometimes they have to tie either a bed sheet or a lasso. So you can imagine the way this man will feel low self-esteem. Oh, thank you so much, Jacqueline. It's prostate cancer. So prostate cancer is a type of cancer. I'm not saying there are better types of cancer, but it is a very bad type of cancer because at a certain stage, even this man changes the walking style. Everybody outside there knows. So low self-esteem can also be caused by a prolonged or chronic illness. I hope we are together. Then the other thing that will bring low self-esteem is mental illness, such as anxiety. Anxiety is also mental illness. It affects you mentally. So anxiety disorder or depression. You know, when you have got this anxiety, you have depression, you have to be on antidepressants. They are very expensive, and then you cannot afford them. You feel so low. You feel, am I going to be fundraising to get, maybe you're taking several antidepressants, or maybe you're even on a certain injection, and depression. I think we are going to discuss depression at a certain stage holistically, not here now as one of the long-term consequence of verbal abuse. We are going to take discussion and discuss it as a subtopic so that we can go deeper. So you find now, because you're going through anxiety disorder or depression, what will you feel? You don't want to interact with other people. You just feel you want your space. You feel lonely, but you just want to build a cocoon and stay in the loneliness. Okay. I think now we are on number 5. Number 5, and I said we are going to look into depression in a very broad way. But here I'm just going to look into depression as an impact of verbal abuse. Mtu mwenye ukutusi. Be it your wife, anakutusi kama mwanaume, be it your husband, anakutusi kama mwanamke, be it somebody that you work together. This person is going to cause you a lot. Atakuletea a lot. The consequences will be so much. And that's why I keep on saying you can keep off, be away from these people, or reduce the level of interaction. Depression. Let me tell you, somebody who wants you to face depression, hakuna kitu haezi kukufanyia. They can do anything to make sure that you become their slave. Depression, or we also call it major depressive disorder, is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. I don't want to go deeper because we are going to discuss this, not under verbal abuse as we are doing it today, but we are going to discuss it as a topic on its own. Fortunately, it is also treatable. And this is one thing I want to assure you. Let nobody tell you that depression has no treatment. It is treatable. It is treatable. It's only that the treatment is costly, but let me tell you, it is treatable. It has a solution. Depression causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease your ability to function at work, at home, or wherever. Let me tell you, it is okay to tell people who care about you, who love you, who mind about you, what you're feeling. Don't die alone. Don't die in silence. And this is why depression kills or it leads to people taking lives of other people. So it is so important. If you feel these signs, if you feel that you are sad, you have lost interest in those things that you liked, you feel that I don't want to do this, I love doing this, but I no longer, let me tell you, those are telltale signs of depression, and you need to talk to someone. I'm going to tackle depression on its own because it's very wide, it's it's huge, and we are going to look into it deeper. Then let me tell you the other thing that will happen to you, which is an impact of verbal abuse. Mtu tu anakutusi tu, anakutana na wewe, anakuongelesha venye anataka, anakunyamazia nini, yeah, somebody who is taking your space. These people want you to feel shame. These people want you to feel guilt and hopelessness. Never give them an opportunity. Never give an opportunity to somebody who wants just to make sure that you're hopeless. You know, there are those type of people in this life that anataka tu ukae hauna tumaini. Ukae tu, uko tu. Shame and guilt are two self-conscious emotions that everyone will feel several times throughout their lives. I mean, several times in their lives. Yes, you might feel ashamed, you might feel guilt, but you should not dwell there. There is a place I always tell people, you should never dwell there. Even if you fall down and it is muddy, na unasikia ni kama hiyo mud ni kama glue, you're sticking there. Let me tell you, it is okay to leave that space. You feel so guilt, you feel so ashamed, sometimes you even want to condemn yourself. But remember, the abuser will always make you feel that. The abuser will always want you to feel that. The abuser will always want you to look at yourself and feel ashamed of yourself. Hata mwingine anakuambia, shame on you. Wanaume wangapi wanatembea na huku nje, wanatafuta pesa, wewe unafanya nini hapa? And then there are those men who will tell their wives, wanawake wangapi huku nje wanatafuta kazi? Mimi nimefanya kazi hapa usiku na mchana na hata utosheki na ile nakupea. They just want you to feel ashamed of yourself and feel so guilt. Yet maybe whatever you asked for is your right, or whatever you recommended is your right. These are generally negative emotions that make people feel bad about themselves and can have negative consequences. Shame and guilt are important emotional components of leading to a prosocial life. They are going to make you lead to a prosocial life. Inakuwa ile life, maybe you'll find there are people who just hawataki mambo ya kusocialize. But now, sometimes, hii shame and guilt itakufanya sasa uanze kusocialize. Maybe unataka kuongelesha mtu sasa umwambie how you're feeling. And I'll keep on repeating, it is okay to talk to someone. It is okay to tell somebody what you're feeling. It is okay to confide in someone. Sometimes I talk to people and I tell them that, na mtu anakuuliza, who are you going to confide in? But I keep on warning people. Today, you're going to say so and so is going through this and this. Utaambia kila mtu, you're going to think you're shaming that person. But let me tell you, tomorrow it could be you or somebody closer to you. And this has really helped me in ensuring that I always like to do like how the mother hen always do. If you read the Bible in Psalms, I think 91, you'll find that the mother hen will always cover its chicks. So it is important to cover each other. It is important to listen, to know what people are going through, and just shut up. You know, it is okay to shut up. It is okay to hear about my problem and keep quiet. Help me silently. You don't have to blow the trumpet. You don't have to keep on. You like the chicken that lays one egg na inaenda tu kwa kijiji mzima. What about the cow that gives a full bucket of milk and it remains silent? And if the cow is going to be milked like three times, 4 times in a day, the cow will not tell us. But the hen lays one egg in a day. Moja. I think one egg is 15 bob right now. But the hen will make noise. The whole village will know that I have laid an egg. And this is why so many people are suffering in silence. So many people are dying in depression because they don't know who to confide in. You have to develop wings. You have to become the mother chicken. I mean the mother hen. Cover your chicken. Hear from somebody. Get to know what they are going through, but shut up. Let's learn how to keep quiet and help in silence. Okay? And this is something that I keep on reminding people. You don't have to behave the way we used to behave when we were in school. Sometimes you know somebody is pregnant and you're all over telling everybody. Sometimes you know somebody is going through a situation, or you're going to be sent away for school fees. You know, me, I was always in that list of being sent away for school fees. And when the names are being called, people are wondering, why is this one not going home today? Maybe your parents borrowed some money somewhere and they have paid the fees. Learn how to keep quiet. Learn how to shelter others. It is important. Get to know. Bada Mulinge says good stuff. Mureithi Ngari, please advise particularly men, really speak their challenge. I think you meant really speak their challenge. We need to chat. It is important to speak out, Mureithi. I agree with you. It's okay. Just side chat me. I'm going to respond once I'm done with this broadcast. Oh, Sarah was my high school classmate. We need to have a sheltering wings. I agree with you, Sarah. I can't say it better than you've put it. So PTSD is another one, which is a long-term consequence of verbal abuse. It's an impact, a long-term one. And PTSD is PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Post-traumatic stress disorder, it is a mental health condition that is triggered by terrifying events. Unakuja hapa unaongelesha mtu, anashtuka, anaanza kushtuka kila wakati. Yani every time this person is terrified. Then all of a sudden you start saying, hey, huyu mtu kwani kichwa yake haifanyi kazi vizuri, kwani ako na shida gani? Little do you know that you are the cause of what this person is going through. And this is why I'm telling you, it is so much important to learn how to shelter each other. It is so much important to learn how to be confidential. If somebody has told you something, kindly shut up. And if you must share. Let me not say if you're going to share. If you must. Because if you must means you don't have to. If you must share, kindly get to know where you're going to take that information, or where you're throwing that information into, lest you share somebody's information and they're going through PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then you finish these people completely. I have come to learn in my daily kind of work that my daily kind of work needs me to keep quiet. But also my daily kind of work needs me to be talking. So how do you balance? You will never hear me giving an example and saying, oh, I met this woman who is known as Diana Kamande, and this woman was going through this and this. And this woman, let me tell you, this person will be listening to me on Facebook Live, and then the next minute, they feel they're ashamed in the whole world. They take a rope and hang themselves. It's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Or this person knows I'm a good friend to Kajuju, or Kajuju is a good friend of mine, and then she hears something that I told Kajuju about her. Do you think this person will ever trust you again? So post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that is triggered by terrifying events. Either this person has seen it, heard it, or witnessed it in any other form. Labda umemtusi. Do you know there are those people who will, yani, if you live in the same house and the words they tell you, hey, wewe sijui nini, hey, wewe sijui, let me tell you, the words they tell you, you are traumatized and you feel like you're traumatized forever. Na ni siku moja tu, but yani the trauma comes and hits you. Unasema yani huyu mtu alikuwa anangojea tu niongee, yani the next minute it is all over. And one thing I've come to realize, you see, under the sun, everybody has their own share of everybody has their own share of problems, including President Uhuru Kenyatta, Deputy President William Ruto, former Prime Minister Honorable Raila Odinga. you look at them and you see, hey, and you're wako top. Let me tell you, if they give you their share of problems, my dear friend, you will not be able. Hautaweza kujua mahali ambapo utachukulia the next thing kwa maisha, ati sasa nitapelekea nani ndiye anaweza ni sort. Let me tell you, it is so difficult. Outside here, it is so difficult. Everybody is fighting their own battle. I started by saying, yesterday I went to spend a day. Yesterday it was World Education Day, and I just purposed to go to this friend of mine. She has a very good place for kids. And those young girls have been through situations. And some of them, they agreed to talk, but we said we are not going to put them on camera. We are going to blur their image and change their voice, because we just want to protect them, as much as in they didn't have a problem. But whatever we experienced yesterday, I came to learn this world is so cruel that you can find a school that has 67 girls who have been through all types of sexual harassment. And then these girls, some of them have 1, 2 children. And I thank God for this woman who has just stepped up, and she has made sure she's giving a second chance to such girls. And then going to her office, you see a whole list of over 300 girls in waiting. And I was wondering, which kind of life are we in? Which kind of a country are we living in? If you have 300 girls in waiting to be enrolled for second chances, and for second chances, I know you understand. I mean, they have gone through something. These girls have got the visible and invisible scars. But anyway, away from that, what do those girls need? They need somebody who can keep their secret. I think you don't know. Okay, Mary Agola says, I have been disappointed by the people I trusted. Pole, it happens. Sometimes the people you trust the most, sometimes the people you think they cannot go even share just your name outside there, they're the ones who go, instead of saying she's called Mary Agola, they go and change your name. You know, there are people who backbite until they change your name. It is that bad outside there. So what should you do? You're supposed to get treatment for PTSD symptoms. And PTSD, we are going to look at it another time deeper when we are going to be looking at depression. Because PTSD is mental, and also depression also is mental. Somehow it affects your mental. So PTSD symptoms can develop and be critical. So to reduce the symptoms, you have to make sure you see the doctor, and also involve a psychiatrist and a psychologist. And in this journey, when we are learning about gender-based violence, forms of gender-based violence, impact or the consequences, you have to get to know. You will never overlook a psychiatrist, and you will never overlook a psychologist. And this is why you find, if somebody comes to our office, there is one thing that women will always come telling us, oh, I need money to start a business, oh, I need this. I'll listen to them. But one of the things I'll tell you, every starting point of a victim, or rather a survivor, in any way, whether you have been going through this because of your family or a relationship, or maybe you're being abused by your in-laws if you're a widow, the very first starting point is psychosocial support. Because once you're given the psychosocial support, you're able to start thinking well, you're able to start figuring out things well, and then you're able to go to the next step, where now we can start thinking about financial empowerment. Because if somebody comes to you, they are not mentally stable, they have been emotionally abused, they have been going through anything, call it, give it a name, any name in this life, and then you give them money and tell them, oh, we are going to, let me tell you, it is not going to work that way. It won't work that way. So it is okay to make sure that you see a psychiatrist or you see a psychologist. And I would advise you go to a psychologist first, and maybe she will refer you to a psychiatrist, depending on how she will listen to you and get to know more about that. So another impact of verbal abuse is social withdrawal and isolation. What is social withdrawal? Have you seen people who avoid social withdrawal is avoiding people and activities you would usually enjoy. Yes, Sarah has added something. We need to raise awareness of issue arising to resolve problem. Yeah, mental health. I agree with you, my dear sister. And yes, seek help. Thank you, dear. So social withdrawal is always finding somebody is avoiding people or activities. Labda ulikuwa unatoka kazi unaenda kucheza basketball nini. Now you want to avoid people interaction, and you also want to avoid that activity that was so close to your heart, that you would not even go to bed without going to the gym, without doing so and such things like basketball, football, etc. For some people, this can progress to a point of social isolation, where you may even want to avoid contact with family and close friends and just be yourself most of the time. Actually, I didn't know about this. And when I learned about this, when I was making the notes, I came to realize, oh, this social isolation can also extend to the family. And it has so many contributing factors. So you just have to know, anytime you feel that you want to isolate, you just want to be alone, kindly seek for help. Speak out. It is okay sometimes to want your space, but it is not okay to want to isolate. There is a difference between wanting your space. Maybe you just want to sit down with your laptop and do something, or maybe you have been working throughout the day and you just want an environment where you can relax. Social isolation may be associated with other symptoms and signs including social withdrawal, a lack of interest in daily activities. I had mentioned that. Boredom, unasikia tu ile mtu anakuambia ameboeka. I mean nimeboeka. Loss of interest in personal hygiene. Yaani mtu anasahau mpaka kuoga, hataki. Mtu anataka kukaa tu na nguo chafu, maybe nguo zake zimezeeka, hataki kubadilisha, hataki kununua zingine. Poor eating and nutrition habits. Once this person isolates, they are not even able to eat well. They are not even able to take care of themselves well, especially in terms of nutrition. Home environment is in disrepair. Yani ameachilia hata nyumba, hana shughuli, yeye kwake tu, bora ameamka, agonge blanketi, atoke. And then poor sleep quality. Poor sleep quality, you find that these people, they have got sleeping patterns zao si mzuri. Maybe huyu mtu atakaa akaye usingizi ikuje saa 10 kukikucha. It is a cause for alarm. You're supposed to seek for help. You're supposed to see a psychologist, and if there is need to see a psychiatrist, you're supposed to see a psychiatrist. Then the final one, and this is where we are going to wrap up our lesson for today, is substance abuse. Substance abuse is, or rather can be simply defined as a pattern of harmful use of any substance for mood-altering purposes. Yani unatumia kitu ili uhakikishe moods zako zimebadilika. On this platform, most of the time we have spoken about maybe men who go to beat their wives, wanapitia, wanakunywa pombe, because they had premeditated watapigana. Once wamekunywa pombe, they come and say, oh no, I'm so sorry, it's because I was drunk. So they go and use or harmfully use a substance so that they can peg this mood change, ama hizi mood swings wamekuja nazo, they peg on the substance. So these substances can include alcohol and other drugs which are illegal or not. You know, there are those drugs that are not illegal but you can misuse them. Labda umepewa tu madawa hospitalini zako za kutumia na una decide kutumia zote. That's abuse. Harmful use of any substance. It is abuse. As well as some substances that are not drugs at all. Unapata zingine si drugs lakini mtu anazitumia. So, abuse can result because you're using a substance in any way that is not intended or recommended. I've given a good example is when you use umepewa madawa hospitalini, you've just decided to overdose. That's drug abuse. Because you're using more than what has been prescribed. Okay? So that marks the end of our lesson for today. And we have looked at impact of verbal violence. Today we were looking all this. For those who have joined late, I think we have had like 3 or 4 pages that we had our notes on, and we have been able to look into verbal abuse. And I think this was a bit longer, so we need to look about what do you do about verbal abuse. I want us to look into tomorrow what we are supposed to do. Tunafaa kufanya nini kama mtu anakutusi kazini, amekuoa ama mumeoana, or you are in a relationship? What do you do? What are you supposed to do? What is the first step in dealing with verbal abuse? What is the very first step? Because there are always first steps everywhere. Then, number 2, do you need to set boundaries? How do you set boundaries? How do you protect your space? Because you need to protect your space. For you to survive and to thrive, you have to protect your space. Kabisa, kabisa. You see the way I said the mother hen will always do. The mother hen will always spread her wings and protect her chicks. Now here you need to protect your peace. As a man, as a woman, you need to protect your peace. So it is very important. It is very important to protect your peace, okay? So make sure that when you're protecting your peace, when you're taking care of your space, you have to set boundaries. It is okay to set boundaries. It is very, very okay. Ni vizuri kuambia mtu usikanyage mpaka hapa, anza kukanyagia hapa. It is okay, it is your space. And it is okay to talk. It is okay. Just let your feelings be known. I keep on telling people, one thing I've learned is not to keep the feelings into myself. I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be wounded more. I have a lot of people's baggage that they have brought to me. So if I keep more baggage, I bring my baggage and put it and add it on top of other people's baggage that they have brought to me to help them solve out or sort out their issues, then I'm going to have an issue. So until tomorrow, we're going to have our next class tomorrow, and we are going to look about what to do after verbal abuse and how do you set boundaries, and are boundaries important? So, and then we are going to wrap up on verbal abuse, and we are going to introduce the next subtopic. I told you gender violence is a huge topic that can take us even up to 6 months. And because of that, let me wrap up and introduce this book to you. If you've not come across this book, I'm the one who has written this book, Scars of Honor. Scars of Honor is a book that speaks about my journey with domestic violence. And also, I have told you quite a number of things that you should do in case you see red flags. And also, I have spoken to men. They should also make sure that they open up and talk. It is okay to talk. Just let know who you are talking to. So if you need to purchase this copy, call our office 0702 577 477, 0702 577 477. Also, we have a pre-Valentine's dinner coming up on 11th of February. Kindly reach out to our office. And for those who are feeling like sponsoring 1 or 2 people, the regular tickets are going for 5,000 Kenya shillings. Then we have the VIP going for 20,000 Kenya shillings. And we also have the corporate tables going for 100,000 Kenya shillings. And we have the sponsorship packages, which the sponsorship packages are for the companies and organizations. And also you can come in as an individual sponsor. So if you feel like sponsoring someone, if you're around, you can call our office number. If you're not within the country, you could hit my WhatsApp or my inbox and let me know. We are going to give a smile to these widows, survivors of gender violence, and some of our kids if they are going to be here, but I think those ones are going to be the ones who are in campus if they're going to join us. So until next time, which is tomorrow, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to your partnership, and also I look forward to continuing with this class, and I seek for more grace and more wisdom from God. So until tomorrow, have yourselves a good night. I just came in and came to this desk directly, so I also need to do a few things in the house before I organize myself for a very hectic and busy day tomorrow. Good night. Okay, share the flyers. Sarah, kindly hit my WhatsApp. If it's the Valentine flyers, I know they are being worked on, but also hit my WhatsApp and let me know what you mean by that. But I think if it's about Valentine, we are going to share. And thank you, Sarah, for always supporting me. Thank you so much. Jidraf Nduta says, must not speak to be heard. I don't understand, but I think you meant well. You can share, you can elaborate, you can comment more. Oh, Mary Mugo speaks about my Mary Mugo, my good friend. She says the book Broken Vessel by Margaret Muhuko can help. It's okay if somebody can be able to get it, or maybe you can post a photo of it tomorrow, or if you have, you can even post under your comment so that people can look for the book. It's important to get to read, and it's going to help us. Keep sharing. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly go to my YouTube channel, Diana Kamande HSC, subscribe, share. Tomorrow we will upload this information that we have shared today. So make sure that you share widely, and also share this broadcast on groups so that we can have more people also joining us tomorrow. Until tomorrow, good night and God bless you.